Good morning. So, I want to talk a little bit more about the void during the spiritual awakening. We have this void because as we go along this spiritual awakening, as we are rising, we are losing things along the way. There's a lot of pain in the losing things along the way. So, as we go along, people fall out of our lives, old ways of thinking, habits fall out of our lives. A lot of times we lose things, and that's what pushes us into the spiritual awakening, because all of a sudden everything is, our whole life is shaken up, and there becomes this void. And in a void, it's like, you would say, you empty out your lungs, and your instinct is to fill it, to fill it, to fill it, because there's an emptiness there, and there's a pain in the emptiness. You're at a loss. There's also fear in emptiness. Like, what do I do from here? Where do I go from here? There's nothing here. Am I going to be like this always? Is it always going to be like this? Maybe, it's the scarcity, that core wound of scarcity. There isn't enough if I don't fill this void. And what happens is, our instinct is that we want to start pulling things into that void to make us safe, to make us feel okay. And on the spiritual awakening, it's about learning how to sit in this void, because as you sit in this void, first of all, you become comfortable in it. You come knowing that, okay, I want to try to word this in a different way. When you are in allowance of the void, you see that the void isn't detrimental to who you are. You are still there. You find yourself as a constant and a continuous, even with the void. And our instinct is that we want to take things and fill the void. But the way that we know how to fill the void is with our old life. We fill it with superficial things, just so it's not empty, just so we're not, so that we don't feel like at a loss. It's like a baby that is born and thrown out on the table, and the baby goes, "Ugh," because it's used to feeling secure in the womb and blanketed, and all of a sudden there's nothing there to guard you. And so, first of all, it toughens you up. It makes you able, and the longer that you're able to sit in the void, well, see, it's not about sitting in the void, but sitting in the void is what allows new things to come in. And as we're evolving in the spiritual awakening, we are constantly evolving, and we are constantly changing. There's like constant movement in this spiritual awakening. We're constantly becoming a new person, a better version of ourselves. We're stripping ourselves down. We're stripping off all of the false layers. This is also why things start falling out of our life. And if we follow our instincts well, it's not really, kind of, you see, it's paradoxical, but if we follow that urge to, let me fill the void, then you're filling it back up with things that are superficial, things that you would have filled you in the past. So it's not only superficial, so it doesn't really fill the void, but it's also filling that space and not allowing what truly needs to come in, things that are more in sync with your new being, because the void is created so that there is room for the new, for different things to come in. But as we're rising, we can't see. It's like, if you're at this vantage point, you can't see what's at that vantage point. So first it has to empty. It's let's say, like being in a relationship. If you're in a relationship that is not good for you, and you know that it's not good for you, and you stay in that relationship is holding the place for a new relationship that would be more of a suit for you to come in. But there is a void. So when you let go of that relationship, you have to allow yourself to be on your own in order to allow a new person to come in. So it's kind of like that void. And so as you're letting go of things on the spiritual awakening, as more and more things are shedding from you, there is this void that is created. And sometimes the void can be very uncomfortable. And what was really coming to me is to sit in the void until the void becomes comfortable. And then you're not out acting out of desperation, then everything that you fill your life with is of choice, because you're not uncomfortable within the void. Because and in the void you find yourself, in the void you find that you're always there. So in this void, you first of all find yourself, so you grow into yourself and you learn how to fulfill yourself and fill that own void on your own. And also it is allowing space for anything else that of choice that you want to bring in. So it's living a more, you become more of a, your life becomes more, what is the word I'm looking for? Like a determined, but determined by you, of choice, of, um, you get what I'm saying. There's a word, there's like a perfect word here for this. It becomes more intentional. Your life, everything that is in your life is intentional. It was put there not from a place of scarcity, like, oh no, if I don't grab something and put it in the void, I'm going to be left behind, or I'm not going to have anything. It's more like, you know, that you're full on yourself, and anything else that you bring in is on purpose and is chosen and is has meaning and adds value to your life. So there is a place in the spiritual awakening of void. And initially, when you get into these places of void, there's a lot of pain in them. There's a lot of emptiness. There's a lot of feeling lonely. There's a lot of, you start having to go through these places in yourself of scarcity, these core wounds of worthiness, of scarcity. Like, if I have a void in my life, then maybe there never will be, so let me just grab what there is and fill that void really quick. And it's also allows you to rise, because we're constantly evolving and we're constantly becoming. The higher you rise, or the more you overcome yourself, or the more is spiritual awake, the more awake you become, the things that you're going to want to fill that void with change as you go. So in having that void, you allow that, your spiritual awakening to go that much faster. Because if you're boggled down with a whole bunch of weights that aren't suitable for where you will be, and when you empty out your life, you're free to fly, right? It's like taking all these weights off of you. So there's pain in it, there's fear in it, there's a lot of going back and forth. In the when you hit a void like that, a lot of times it's the unknown. It's going into the unknown. It's the fear of the unknown, and this real emptiness feeling, and just know that that emptiness is allowing you to fly more freely. It's allowing you to accelerate on the spiritual awakening. It's allowing you to, it's like a turbo boost. All the old things empty out, and then you get a turbo boost to go up, 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 up. And as you go, you can slowly choose with like tweezers the things that you allow to come in. And after a while, you don't want to be boggled down with things that aren't suitable for you. It's just taking up space and taking up your energy and taking up your life force. After a while, you'd rather have the void than have something that is not in sync with your being in there, interfering with with your vibration. And as you go along, and as you allow that void, more you will meet more, because you become an intentional creator, and because you're coming back to your own core vibration without all of this interference and things that don't belong in there. Then you are attracting things, or even being able to, you're also attracting things that are more in sync with your being, but you're also able to recognize things that you want in your experience, and recognize the things that you don't want in your experience, because we've already shed so many things, and we don't want to go back down the same route that we were already on. So really, in the spiritual awakening, there is a void that is created, and it creates like this vacuum, but you have to kind of sit in it and allow yourself to just be at ease in it. What's really coming to me is that once you're able to sit in the void with ease, then you can really become an intentional creator because you're not afraid of the lack. It's coming over one of those core wounds of society that most of us were brought up in, is where if we don't go out and get stuff and put it in our existence, then we are going to be in lack. But there is no lack. There only is. And so once we learn to be comfortable in that feeling and we overcome that, then we can be intentional creation masters because we're not afraid also of losing things, because we understand that when we lose something, it just creates change in your life. It creates more flow. It creates an opportunity for change. It creates an opportunity for more experiences. When something leaves your life, there's more space in your life. So just to sum it up about the void, talking about the void on your spiritual awakening, thank you for watching.